family channels on YouTube should be allowed to be monetized. For starters, you have to be 13 to start a YouTube account to post anything, so you should have to be at least 13 to be put on the website in a video format. I don't think just because you're in your parents' video, that means you should be allowed to be under 13, because if you're under 13, you can't say that you want to be on YouTube, because that's against YouTube's terms of service. Parents will put on blast the most embarrassing moments of their kids' lives, which are then on the internet permanently forever. Other kids at school or outside of school will be able to see this at any time they want, and these kids are obviously going to get made fun of because their entire life is on the internet. Parents are essentially robbing their kids of any sense of a normal childhood. They're forcing their kids to essentially work a full-time job, and the kids become the source of income for the family. When your kids become the source of income for your family, your motives will get twisted. Even if your family channel started as just something fun for you guys to look back on, once it starts making money, your reasons and your motives are corrupt, and you're gonna want more money, you're gonna want more fame, you're gonna want more influence, so you're gonna force your kids to make more videos, you're gonna put them in situations that they don't want to be in. Oftentimes, parents will film their kids crying, yelling, screaming, or otherwise upset, and they upload that to the internet and they make money off of their kids being unhappy, which that just rubs me the wrong way. You shouldn't be putting personal family moments on the internet, especially with small children who don't understand the validity of what they're doing. They don't understand that what they put on the internet has consequences, and their parents aren't going to explain that to them. They don't have the capacity to understand, even if their parents do explain it to them. When you're growing up, you make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes when they're growing up, and no one should be forced to put childhood mistakes on the internet. It's one thing when people on the internet will make mistakes that they chose to put on the internet, but when your parents put those mistakes on the internet, you didn't even get a choice. That people saw it. People saw it even if you don't want them to see it. And that's going to follow them for the rest of their lives. If they do something that is bad when they're a child, it's going to follow them through school and after. They might struggle to find a job because of mistakes that they made when they were 4, 5, 6. Their parents will never just be parents. Their parents will be their boss. Their parents will be their manager. Their parents will be their camera crew. It's not going to ever be normal between the kids and the parents. There are a lot of restrictions for how long child actors can work in movies and TV shows. They get breaks very frequently. They aren't allowed to work past a certain time, and there are very heavy restrictions on what they can and can't do, and I don't think that family channels will be safe and ethical for kids to participate in until there are restrictions like that on YouTube. I'm sorry if I'm looking down, by the way. I have notes for what I want to say. Another reason that you should not be putting small children on the internet is because even if your content is completely innocent, there are people who are not going to look at it innocently. Although most of the family channel audiences are children who are probably just wishing that they had a relationship like that with their parents, there are going to be people watching for the wrong reasons. There are pedophiles on the internet, and they will be watching your children when you put your children on the internet. So when family channels will post something completely innocent, there are going to be people who are going to take that and do things that aren't innocent with that, and no one should subject their children to that. I feel like any parental instinct would tell you not to do that, would be to keep your children safe when you're directly putting them in danger by doing this. Some examples of family channels that have done terrible things in the past are, let's start with the biggest, the Ace family. They're pretty much the biggest, most well-known family channel on YouTube. So, besides all the things that the parents have done that have not been involving the children, like the mudslide that they caused in their infinity pool, and the lying and scamming, and getting people to pay for things that don't exist. I'm not going to talk about that in this video. That's not relevant to this video. They exploited Catherine's 6-year-old sister online. She was in a video, and they were in a mall. I don't know what kind of store they were in. I hope it wasn't a sex shop, because they brought a 6-year-old in, but she somehow found a penis-shaped lollipop, and she wanted the lollipop. She didn't know what it was. She was a child. She just thought it was a lollipop, and she kept asking for it, so Austin bought it for her, and recorded her eating it, and put that on Snapchat. That was not even his own child. Oftentimes, Austin swears in front of his small children, which I don't have a problem with parents swearing. Because who am I to tell parents what not to say in front of their kids? But his kids are very, very young, and his content is supposedly for children. It's kind of weird to have this family channel content that's branded as family friendly, and then to have, it has like a weird amount of sexual jokes for a family friendly channel. I find that a little bit strange. I don't know if anyone else does, but I guess that's a common thing in children's entertainment. Nickelodeon shows, Disney shows have like hidden sexual jokes in them for parents, but I don't know, I just think that's kind of weird. Another example is the Stauffer family. I don't know how it's pronounced, but they adopted a disabled child, and documented the whole process and made a lot of money, and they got views and fame. I don't think what they got was fame, but they ended up giving him up for adoption after about a year, because they didn't do their research on what his specific needs would be, and they couldn't handle it. I'm not gonna say that they were faking this whole adoption and planned to give him up the whole time, because I don't think they did. I think that they got caught up in YouTube and they didn't do their research. They thought this would make a good video and we want another kid anyway, and they thought, well, we should start recording now, and they didn't do proper research on the needs of this specific child. And they were just too focused on making content, and they ended up neglecting him. That's what I think happened. Possibly the most extreme example is the channel Daddy05, where they did family channel pranks, which I didn't know was a genre of YouTube videos until doing research for this video. So they did pranks, the parents did pranks on the kids, which were oftentimes mean and borderline abusive. And after an investigation on the parents, they ended up losing custody of their children. I believe now they get supervised visitation with their children, but they're no longer allowed to film their videos of the children. All the videos from the past have been removed, and any re-uploads will be removed, which shows how abusive family channels can get when your source of income is pranking and harassing your children. Which is why I think that after this has happened, YouTube should crack down on family channels and make it so that if you're filming your children, you can't monetize the video. I don't think you should be able to monetize a video with anyone who isn't old enough to have their own account.